How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Hewitt at the Gothenburg Learning Center, and today figured we could talk a little bit about volunteer corn, some of the management considerations, how it happens, and just ways that you can deal with it. So as you can see here in the field that we're standing, we have some pretty bad volunteer corn problems here. So you can see a lot of the individual plants. This is the actual row that we have planted of corn, but you've got a lot of individual volunteer corn, and then you've even got some clumps over here. So let's just start off, I guess, with some of the reasons, some of the ways that this can happen. So a lot of it comes down to harvest timing. If the corn stalks are too dry, a lot of times that gathering chain in the combine can hit the corn stalks, cause some of the ears to fly off. It can also be because of combine settings, so things like your concave, stuff like that, and also lodged plants can be difficult. So as far as management considerations, there's a couple different ways to think about this depending on the crop that you have planted. So with corn, it's a lot more difficult to manage. With soybean, you can either do a pre-plant burn down of a non-selective would deal with volunteer corn. And after the soybeans have emerged, you can do a post-application of group 1 herbicides, things like clethodim, pinoxidin, fluazafop, quizalofop would work pretty nicely, and it's not going to injure your corn. A couple other things that you can do with soybeans as well. Before you plant, you can do a light tillage to get that volunteer corn to germinate. Then you can hit them with a herbicide. Grazing is a management consideration over the winter. And within corn, though, it can be a little bit more tricky because you're not going to be able to spray post with those group 1s because you're going to injure your corn crop. So really, you have mechanical options that you can do. Like I said, the tillage, you can do the grazing. But tillage can be a little bit tricky because it can induce a lot of the germination of the volunteer corn, and then you still have an issue if your corn crop has already emerged. One thing that I did think was interesting is you can actually, if possible, you can delay planting your corn. You can do a light tillage, get a lot of that volunteer corn to germinate, and then you can spray them with group 1, or really any sort of herbicide that will work on it. So it depends on what your previous corn was traded for. So if it's Roundup Ready, Liberty Link, etc., you need to take that into consideration. A lot of times your volunteer corn is going to have the same resistances as your current corn crop, which is what causes so many problems. But yeah, tillage, grazing, and planting date are really 3 things that you can do. And then of course the chemical side of it, you just have to be real careful not to hurt your current crop. Well, anyways, that's all I have for you guys today, so thank you very much.
Thanks for watching this video from the Gothenburg Water Utilization Learning Center. For more information, please call 308-537-4500.